comment allez-vous? I am here in the heart of France for today's Paleo Report, October 2nd, the solar eclipse, 2024. The moon will be conjunct the sun in about 10 hours. And that is also conjunct the south node of the moon, black moon Lilith, and Mercury. We have quite a gathering here in Libra, the sign of relationship, partnership, harmony, beauty, balance, peace, and equality. And she's going to be moving on, as things always do, into Scorpio, by Friday. And joined together with Venus in Scorpio, making a grand trine. Venus, Mars, and Saturn in the water signs of feeling and emotion. And by Sunday, she's going to move on into Sagittarius. So we have a lot of change. It's a new moon. It's a new moon. This solar eclipse is, beginning a new monthly cycle. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about that quite a bit. And Mercury is in conjunct Saturn, tomorrow. And the beautiful thing is that and then in conjunct Saturn, I'll talk about that, and square Mars by Saturday, moving into a trine with Jupiter and opposite Chiron by next Tuesday. So moving on through Libra, and yeah, lots to talk about. Mercury, the messenger of the gods, indeed. Going down into the underworld of the south node of the moon and black moon Lilith, and then emerging back up out again. Like I said, Venus is trine Saturn. That is exact on Friday. And then it's exactly trine Mars on next Tuesday. So it's really a whole weekend of this grand trine happening. And if it wasn't for that in conjunct to Saturn and a few other aspects that are going on, the big thing is Jupiter is slowing down into its retrograde phase. It's going to station and go retrograde next Wednesday at 21 degrees 20 minutes of Gemini. I'll read you that Sabian symbol. But for now, let me find a nice little place to have a seat and talk to you about what all that means. All right, everybody. I'm going to take you on a little tour of the harbor here, see if I can pull this off, if I can concentrate enough, and focus on some astrology for you. This is kind of a continuation of last week, because I talked about this eclipse last week a little bit. The difference is that the moon last week was moving into, it was in the balsamic phase, waning, ending, closing the last month's cycle. And with the eclipse, this is like a super new moon. So it's a new beginning. And that's why in the mantra for this week, I have release. This is a release of the past. And this can be old past life stuff coming up in our relationships. And I'm thinking about people that are not in relationship, but you have to look and see where Libra falls in your chart. If it's in your 10th house, it may be around business relationships. If it's in your 4th house, it can be family relationships. In the 5th house, it can be relationships with your kids. 6th house, co-workers. It may be in your 1st house, which is actually your relationship to yourself, to your instincts, to your impulses, to your desires, okay? But it's really, this is a time, Mercury and the Sun is this solar energy, and this mental energy. Remember, Mercury was the only god that could go back and forth between the underworld and Mount Olympus. So our thoughts and our thinking can take us down. Yeah, it can take us way down to Lilith, the shadow, all of the things that we have suppressed and repressed. And of course, when it's in the sign of Libra, what does Libra want? Like I said before, it's peace, harmony, beauty. It wants to enjoy, the beauty of relationship and partnership. So it can oftentimes have to do with suppression. Avoiding and denying the deeper realities, the deeper feelings and emotions, and stay on the surface. Pretend, hope, believe that everything is going to be all right and okay, and I can just, go along and, keep my partner happy or keep myself happy by not getting angry and not getting jealous and not being human, we could say, in some way, shape, and form. Yeah. So this is I want to see it as an opportunity, but opportunities come in many different disguises. Yes, indeed. Losing it. Yeah, losing it. Letting the volcano erupt is a means of self-discovery, a discovery that can lead in the future. And this is where we have this new moon this next month. Okay, so it's like boom, 52 card pickup. Okay, this eclipse, today is like 52 card pickup where you just go and it's all up in the air. And there's a loss of control. There's a loss of peace and harmony. There is a wondering. It's like deep sea diving where you don't know what's at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, until you swim down there, shed a light. Hopefully you bring a flashlight. That's Mercury, and that's the Sun. That's the flashlight, okay, saying, okay, let's look at this. And bring it up to the surface. And that release is healing. Because what's down there is our wounds. And the reason that we have fears, insecurities, all these needs, desires that we're afraid to ask for or express, or control that we're afraid to lose, all this stuff lies very deep down in there. That's what this inconjunct to Saturn is. And I'll say, Saturn going through Pisces, the whole world is going through a very difficult time now. I've spoken about it before. This Jupiter square Saturn is, going on, till next spring in the northern hemisphere. Okay, let's stick to March, April, May. Okay, where there's going to be this shift. But right now, even Jupiter, okay, is stationary, and Jupiter is going to turn around and go back down. He's at 21 degrees, the 21st degree of Gemini for a good month. Okay, I think it goes from September 25th until October 23rd. Yeah. So what I can say is the darkest hour is just before the dawn. That There is this going down. There is, moving into the underworld. The dragon's tail is this past. And let's really get into the moon as also just bringing up our childhood conditioning, our childhood patterns, what we were told is okay to talk about, or okay to say, or okay to feel. Libra wants to please other people, and the partners and the family and the parents. And let's face it, a lot of times we have uncomfortable desires and needs that are just not acceptable. So this is a time to go beyond, what is acceptable, and to realize that we are human, that we have a long history, a long past, many challenges, and then move on. Today's song is Blue Sky. Walk along the river, sweet lullaby. It just keeps on flowing. It don't worry about where it's going. No, no, no. I might have to worry about where I'm going though, because I'm coming up to a bridge and I got this umbrella. If I didn't take that umbrella out of there, it'd be wiped out, man. So to lighten it up a little bit, let's, what we want to do is we want to realize the gold, the treasure. There's treasure chests down there at the bottom of the sea. And what I find to be so beautiful is this month of Jupiter, yes, it is square Saturn. And Saturn in Pisces says, hey, you got to deal with your grief, your suffering, your sorrow, the past. And it's in Pisces, the sign of no control, of chaos, of I don't know what's going on, or where I'm going, or how my partner is going to react, or what's going to happen in this relationship. And so Saturn is, really calling for consequences, accountability. The past brings with it things that we said before, things that we've done before. And we need to look at that, look at its impact on other people. And of course, the challenge can sometimes be not only expressing our own needs, fears, and insecurities, but listening, listening to the other and their fears and their needs and maybe their demands. So it's a complicated situation where it's not just Aries putting out, my needs and myself and my, stuff, but also, having enough empathy, enough understanding, and enough forgiveness. Saturn in Pisces is also calling for compassion and forgiveness of the other. So it's kind of this two-way street whenever we come, into contact with Libra. We're looking at the two-way street. But the great thing is, dun, 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 the Jupiter in Gemini, which is getting a nice trine from Mercury later on this week. And then we've got this grand trine in water of Venus and Mars, the masculine and the feminine, in a trine with that Saturn. So here's the Sabian symbol for this Jupiter. See if I can read and steer at the same time. Dancing couples in a harvest festival. The wholesome enjoyment of organic processes and emotional drives. Again, we have an image in strong contrast to the first of this series from the mind-built city, where workmen claim a larger sphere of social abundance. We find ourselves in the village, where men and women live in far greater harmony with natural and seasonal processes, giving free rein to their emotional instincts. The two poles of a wholesome society, the large industrial city and the agricultural village, should be included. Likewise, the two poles of a healthy personality, mind and natural emotions, should be active. This is the contrasting second stage of the sequence. It stresses the value of rhythmic, healthful activity in a natural setup, for this leads to an often much needed process of bioenergetic rebuilding. Key words for this week: bioenergetic rebuilding. So it's like we gotta, it's like even my daughter went through the hurricane here and her whole village got wiped out. I mean, there's a lot of things getting wiped out these days, but what we want to, focus on is, it clears the slate, it cleans the plate, it allows for a whole nother process of health, rebuilding, and dancing. Yeah. So I'm thinking, it's been the balsamic phase, last week, and right now we're kind of in the cauldron, but I think things are going to be turning around. Things are going to be turning around. I mean, the moon is going to be going through Scorpio, through the weekend, but that I think is going to bring up, huge transformation and transmutation. This is this whole thing now about Libra and Scorpio, is the transformation of our own self, our own identity. It's only through other people that we can see our unconscious shadow. We have to look in the mirror. You can meditate and you can, pray and hope and contemplate by yourself alone all that you want. But when you come into other people are mirrors, and when we come into these mirrors is when we see our deeper selves. So the mantra for this week is: having the difficult conversation is uncomfortable at best, but it's worth the grief once we release and let go of the past at last. Let's understand that everything has a purpose. There's a time and a place for everything. And this time is a good time to feel, to go deep into truth, for balance, to bring greater, deeper connection, peace, understanding. This is actually, it's a small planet. It's getting smaller by the minute with all of the technology that's going on these days. Yeah. And there has to be a way where we can all learn how to live together in peace and harmony. So let us begin at home, begin with ourselves. We have to embrace our own shadow, embrace our own mistakes or wrongdoings or hurts that we have possibly caused, to others or the world at large. And through self-acceptance, we're then allowed, to really come out with it, embrace it. And I thought that I was coming up to a dead end here, but it looks like this river is fricking going on forever. All right, I got to do a U-turn and get back. But I want to just come around the corner here and show you this because it's just so beautiful. The water, this grand trine in water is just so beautiful. It's peaceful. And as you feel it, it's healing. And we have to remember, whether it's birth or surgery, physical surgery or psychic surgery, it's messy. There's chaos. There's the 52 card pickup where we just don't know what's going on, don't know what to say, don't know where it's going. We have to kind of go into that void and just hope and pray to Great Spirit. I was going to do, actually in the mantra for today, I was going to start out, "Oh Great Spirit, have mercy." All right, let me do a quick Yui here. Give you a shot of the shoreline. Let you go on your way for the day, for the week. I'm wishing you the very best. And yeah, there is great hope. And we hold on to that, and it's going to really bring us through to the new sunrise, to the new day, to the new moon, to the new cycle, to the new you, and the new understanding. Evolution is what it's all about. So having the difficult conversation is uncomfortable at its best. But it's worth the grief. Once we release and let go of the past at last. Namaste, aloha, so much love. I would like to invite you at this time to the Amazon. Astrology is the study of nature, the cycles of nature through which all life grows. And we want to get close to nature. We want to go back to nature. We're going to do Surrendering to Love. This workshop on January 23rd, 2025, mark your calendar. We are on a retreat that is on the Amazon River. We take a boat to get there. We're going to be meeting with the native people, seeing the pink dolphins, swimming with the piranhas, you name it. And we're going to be looking at our charts because it's a very special time. There is a Saturn, Venus, Neptune, North Node conjunction. And it is about, this is in Pisces. So we're going to be looking at everything Neptune, Pisces, and the 12th house of your zodiac, which has to do with spiritual love. Venus is earthly love, the lower octave of Neptune. We're going to be looking at both Neptune and Venus. And Pisces in the 12th house is about surrender, allow, accept, return to innocence, to love, to unity. This is going to be an amazing experience. So we'll be coming into Peru, taking a boat down the river, and so special. I've wanted to go to this Amazon for many years. This is a dream come true, and I hope that you will join me. And click that link below, find out more, sign up, and I'll see you there. Hasta luego.